Jennifer with Mindful Movement, Mindful Living, and I am here today with a quick but effective at-home workout for your core and hips. This workout will not require any equipment at all. You may want to use a mat for comfort. I'm on a rug, as you can see, that's pretty soft, so I'm just going to use that. For underneath your head, you may want a little blanket or a small pillow. I have a just a half dome here that sometimes I use, so you may want that. It's totally up to you what feels best for you. But that's all we need, and really we could use nothing. So it's up to you. So here we go. Let's get started. So we're just gonna start lying down. It's always nice when you can work out while lying down, right? So we're gonna start, you don't need a lot of space here at all. So when you lie down, especially when you lie down, if you feel like your neck sort of has this position where it's really hard to get it aligned, like that, just take a folded blanket or like a half dome or a little pillow. You can just put it under your head like this. So I'm just gonna show that to start. And that will just help everything feel a little bit nice and aligned, so it will feel comfortable on your neck. So make sure your neck and your back feel comfortable. And then we're gonna come into this position with a neutral pelvis. And a neutral pelvis just means that your hip bones and your pubic bone are on the same plane, right? So you have a nice level pelvis. You're not rocking it towards you or arching your back like that. You just have a little space under your low back, just that natural curve. So we're gonna keep that. And then from here, we're just gonna drop one knee out to the side. Try to keep your pelvis nice and still. And then come center, and then other side over and center. And we're just gonna go side to side. And it doesn't have to be a really big movement, so I'm making my movement pretty small. What you don't want to do is rock your hips all the way to the side. So try to keep the pelvis still and just relax the leg out. Just a little hip release here. We'll do one more set. Like this one to warm up the hips. And then coming back. Center. So again, we're going to stay nice and neutral in the pelvis. Let's bring hands behind the head. I'm going to move this for now. So hands behind the head, just nice and relaxed with the neck, and then we're just going to lift up and then come back down. So watch as you come up that your pelvis stays level, that you're not doing this kind of rocking towards you. Stay nice and level in the pelvis as we lift up. So it's just like we're sort of sliding the bottom ribs towards our hip bones as we come up. Again, our head is just nice and heavy in the hands. Elbows out wide to the side. Nice one to wake up the core muscles and just to kind of focus on that alignment as well. And we'll do two more here. And last one. So now we're going to come back down. From here, we're just going to flex the right ankle, cross it over your left thigh like this. We're gonna keep that pelvis nice and neutral. Bring our hands behind our head. And now we're gonna cross over towards your right. So we'll just think about kind of taking the left bottom ribs over towards that right hip bone and then back. And we're still keeping the elbows like wide to the side. So we have a nice wide collarbone as opposed to sort of this happening where we're collapsing. So keep that collarbone nice and wide. We still wanna stay nice and aligned here. And just rotating over. Good. So just getting a nice spinal rotation, waking up those obliques a little bit more. And then just two more here. And then we'll come back to center. So from here, we're just gonna lift the hips up. So without coming onto the neck, so waiting about the bottom of the shoulder blades, we're just gonna lift the hips up and then lower back down. So lifting and lowering. So now feel glutes and hamstrings working, actually, especially on the other side, the left side. And lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. So this is nice strengthening, of course, glutes and hamstrings, but also stretching around the hips, the front of that left hip around the right hip. And then we're just gonna put that together. So from here, we'll just come over that obliques cross, and then we'll come up to that hip lift. So we'll cross and then come into a bridge and cross and bridge. It's a good multitasker. We can move a lot of parts at one time, which is always a plus for me. I really feel strongly that we should be moving all of the parts of our body as much as we can. And 2 more, and up, and 1 more, and up. And then we're just gonna bring your arms along the side. We're gonna lift our hips up, and then from here we'll lower just part way down with the hips, and then lift up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we're gonna lower the hips down. Now from here, let's bring our arms out to the side. And then from this position, we're just gonna come over to a gentle twist and then back to center. So we'll just twist over and center. And how far you rotate is just whatever feels comfortable. It shouldn't feel like a strain. I love this one. So we get a nice spinal twist. So nice one to stretch hips and core simultaneously. I told you we were going to be nice and efficient here. And we are. And just a few more of these. Good. And 2. And 1 more. So we're going to hold this last one a little bit longer. To see that nice stretch. Think about breathing into the rib cage here. And if your right foot is not touching the floor, that's fine. You don't have, you could be twisted just part way, that's fine. If you're holding it, you could put something under that right foot if it's not touching the floor, if you like to have something there. 1 more big breath here. And then we'll come back to center. Nice, so from here we're just gonna uncross. And we're done with the first side. So now we're ready for side 2. So same thing, we're gonna start with that neutral pelvis and try to keep it nice and stable. It's those deepest core muscles working when we're keeping the pelvis stable. So I like to even bring my hands to my pelvis just as a little tactile, so I know that my pelvis is nice and still. And then we'll just do those little knee drops out to the side. And I say this all the time, and I'm gonna say it again, I'm gonna stand by it. What is not moving is just as important as what is moving. So it, of course the legs are moving. That's important. It's helping to, release the hips, get some movement in there. But what's not moving is the pelvis, and it probably the hips probably feel like they want to rock a little bit here. But that's important because keeping that stability in the pelvis is what's waking up those deepest stabilizing muscles in the core. So also important. So I'll do 1 more set here, just that nice release. And then we'll come center. So from here, you feel free to keep yours. I'm gonna move my little prop to the side. So we're gonna bring your hands behind the head. And then we'll just think about, again, keeping the pelvis neutral as we just lift up and then come back down. And sometimes when we come up, like the pelvis will kind of rock towards you like that without even realizing it. So just be mindful that the pelvis, as you're coming up, the pelvis stays nice and level as we lift and lower. So everything's staying nice and level. Again, I'm just bringing my hand here as a little tactile, a little reminder. You certainly don't have to do that if you want both hands behind your head. I'm just doing as a little reminder just to show that we're keeping the pelvis nice and still. So that's not moving, but it's just as important as what is moving. And last one here. And then we'll lower down. So now from here, we're gonna take our left leg, flex that ankle, just cross it over the right thigh. And then with our hands behind our head, we'll go to that rotation here. So we're just gonna cross, thinking about the bottom right ribs crossing towards that left hip bone as we come over. So we keep that collarbone, the pelvis nice and level, we keep the collarbone nice and wide, and just rotating and back. And it might be tempting as you come over to sort of lift and rock the hips towards the left as well, because that's where the upper torso is going. But think about keeping that pelvis nice and still. Good. 1 more here. 3, 2, and 1, and then we'll come back to center. And now just the hip lift. So we're gonna lift the hips up into like a bridge without weight on the neck, just down by the shoulder blades, and then we'll lower back down and just lift and lower. So again, getting a nice benefit both of strength and mobility. So strengthening glutes and hamstrings and core actually, and then stretching around the hips as well. 3 and 2. Last one. And then we'll just put that together. So we're gonna cross and then lift the hips. And cross and lift. Cross and lift. Again, great multitasker here. I love getting lots of movement at one time. And cross and lift, cross. Basically, I just love movement, I guess. That sort of says it all. And 2 more, cross. And you probably do too, at least a little bit if you're doing this at home, when you could be doing other stuff. And we're gonna come back. So now let's, from here, bring our arms along the side, lift the hips up, and then we'll do those 8 little pulses. So we're just gonna lower about halfway down and lift for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then we're gonna lower the hips down. Bring your arms out by the side. Maybe even stretch your hands out here, stretch your fingers out. And then we're gonna just take that little twist. So just bring the left foot over towards the right. No, it might come to the floor and it might not. Either way is fine. And then we're just gonna come back to center. Just gonna cross over and center and over. And so it feels so good. I love the spinal twist piece of this. Feels really nice. And also just getting a little bonus too, just kind of opening the chest here, opening the heart center. And up and over. So you don't need a lot of space to move a lot of parts. Get a lot done in a small space. And over and up. And then we'll just hold over. Try to relax the ribs down. Maybe you can maybe stretch the hands out. Just take some big breaths here. Maybe fill the ribs up. Let them expand as you breathe in, as you exhale. Just a nice, deep, healthy breaths into the core here. And then coming back to center. So we did it. It did not take a lot of time or a lot of space, but we got a lot done. We worked our core, our hips, our lower body, both strength and also mobility, which is great. I'm already feeling better. I hope you are too. If you like these types of at-home workout videos, please give this video a thumbs up. That is great feedback from me. It's helpful to know what types of videos to make in the future. Also, it helps others who are interested in moving more at home or in general to find this video so we can all move together, which is really nice. You can also hit the subscribe and notification bell, and that will ensure that you receive all the videos that come out. So I will certainly be posting weekly videos, at least one a week, on mindful movement and mindful living. Thanks so much for moving with me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.